today. Been talking about repairing old metal doors with some patching material, which was Bondo yesterday, and I do have a dent in this one. I would have painted this with Sherwin-Williams industrial enamel probably 20 years ago or more, maybe something like that. But dirty, needs to be repainted. I'm not going to be repainting this door today, but I do want to go through all the steps as to how you would go about doing that, and that it wouldn't be a spray application, it'd be a rolling application. So you would want to start with the magic eraser, and I got some hot water here, and so want to start by cleaning it, and that's most important. Has this old knob and deadbolt, I should say. Those would probably get removed and replaced with some newer technology, like like a smart lock, that sort of thing that you control with your thumbprint or whatever. But these magic erasers, they sure do a nice job as far as cleaning goes. So the first thing you'd want to do is get this thing clean. You know, um, get it all clean. Magic eraser, filthy door, filthy old door. But the other thing too is these plastic trims around the glass. I would probably want to mask this glass and spray some primer sealer on there, bonding primer, to get that to make sure that, because it's plastic and you want to make sure that it's going to get bonded to it, and you're going to paint it different colors. So if you're gonna, now we got to think back to apprenticeship school. If we're gonna have a color on this side and a different color on the other side, how do we split the door? That means one edge has to be the color of this side, which would be the hinge side. As you come in the house, you would have this color, the color of this side the front panel on this edge, and this latch side edge would be the color of the back side of this door. So that's how you split the color for your door. And as we said, we've been talking about patching old metal doors and garage doors, that sort of thing, if you needed to. The winner yesterday was Bondo, automotive patch, So this stuff, to mix it up, you would just remove a portion out of the can and use the cream hardener and add to whatever you remove out of the can. Add a little cream hardener into it and mix it in with your putty knife, or this is actually a taping knife. And the car guys, they use these plastic applicators because they're so that it'll form around a fender and on a car. But since I'm a commercial guy, I always just used to use a putty knife when I would apply Bondo to something, so you could just, and all I have is this one on this panel right here. So if we get this thing all cleaned up, the next step would be to sand it. And back in the day, if we were putting enamel back on, oil-based stuff, I would never sand any higher in sandpaper than 220 grit sandpaper. But since we're using acrylic, you could use 120 grit and it'll bury those scratches, no problem. 150, 120, whatever you might have. When it did come time to sand this Bondo patch, you'd probably want to use your quarter sheet sander or an orbital, and sand that down, a power sander. But otherwise, these medium sanding blocks would be fine, and you want to make sure you get in and get everything sanded well on all your panels, okay? And then of course on your rails and your stiles and everything, all nicely sanded down. And then you could wipe it off with some denatured alcohol. I didn't bring my alcohol upstairs, but yeah, some denatured alcohol that helps with cleaning as well. It's a nice solvent. Wipe it all down before you paint, and then I was just going to show you. When it comes to brushing and rolling this door twice, you want to make sure that we're getting in your panels everywhere really well. That's important. And we're just using our typical Worcester 2.5-inch brush. And what we have here is the foam brush that I talked about that works really well for these metal doors. And here's a rolling tray that you could use, or you could just put a screen in your single gallon pail, roll off of that. But if oh, I'm sorry, but here's just a roller tray, paint tray. But for all your flats and rails and stiles, this foam will do a decent job and make it look nice and professional. So these are the steps that I wanted to go through and cover today to redo your old metal doors. I'll probably end up redoing this one this fall because it does need it, and but I just wasn't able to do that today. But I wanted to go through the steps. I know I've had a couple of viewers ask about how to do it, so just wanted to cover those. Otherwise, follow me for any more pro tips. Like and share. Um, I hope you guys are doing some painting this weekend. Some do-it-yourself painting. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Take care. Keep her tight.